As I sometimes like to say, as a recurrent phrase in my poetry, the spirit world is something of an occupied zone these days. And, I often talk to people about the Fountainhead and the remarkable scene where a sculptor repudiates an architect or attempts to repudiate. They become very good friends. Because he says, I didn't want to meet you because I didn't want to be sick. I liked your buildings. And whenever I find somebody who I like, meet them, it turns out that they're disgusting. I feel that way about Pussy Riot. But I'm going to talk about the bright side of Pussy Riot before I talk about the caveat emptor. Pussy Riot has done a remarkable thing in their book, remarkable book. They've shown really the way in which what's going on. I'm a fan of the multipolar world. I like a good deal about China. I'm not ashamed to have listened to what Russia and their advocates like Jeffrey Sachs have to say. And I appreciate the lack of scholarship on Eurasia. But there are military things going on that are deceitful, which follow those themes. But I think rather than being America versus a multipolar world, because America really does have its heart in the right place under Biden when it comes to Africa and Asia and Latin America. I'm sure that there are some long standing difficulties in our diplomacy due to the um, very vigorous oppression that powerful blocks of vested interests, particularly in corporate government, like the fossil fuel industries, inflict as toxic mentalities towards people who are more helpless. I mean, I'm a victim of that sort of thing, and I get feedback through the Android zone from other victims, and I'm not victim enough. It's too much. I know that that's not where the heart of America is. It's not in victimizing Latin America, but what Pussy Riot has shown pretty clearly is the degree to which what's going on in terms of conflict and culture is between America and Europe. And the way they did this was by making a very poignant stand against Vladimir Putin. They said that one of the things that his dacoits are chronically trying to do is brainwash his victims into saying that they love him and appeal to his arbitrary, capricious whims in terms of favor and forgiveness for abridgments that wouldn't be abridgments if they had a Bill of Rights. And this very same phenomenon exists in Beatles culture. The same tyrannical viciousness and mystique pertains to Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney and the other lacklusters, worthless worthies that ride around scurrying in their footsteps as yacht party people from Hollywood, like the Kennedy killing crap. Oh, their courts are always brainwashing you with about loving them, and appealing to their whims. I mean, they tortured me. I'm supposed to appeal to their whims. This guy shows up, and what made me want to make this tape is this guy showed up in the St. Louis Today forums, and he spun this imaginative um, fiction, but it's a fiction from you know the reality of my investigation, my detective work. And he precipitated, oh, John and Yoko are still my friends, they're still alive. And it was to make people laugh. But the idea is that, oh, baby, don't worry about your delusions. You will be forgiven if you reach out to us. And they have this man with the sadist mask at the clinic. And I'm supposed to thank the people who established the clinics for murdering my dad. And I'm supposed to back away from the detective investigation that shows John Lennon pulled a Houdini and was a fascist avenger who positioned Yoko Ono as a revenge pilot. And the mystique of you can be forgiven by Hollywood. And Martin Sheen will forgive you rather than inject you with HIV is their message. And one can see it, just imagine the judo dude saying, we must have you, and have you, and have you. Oh, but we like you, we like you. Don't you want us to like you? You love us, don't you? Pussy Riot was very perceptive in that way. Thawes Gordon, magna cum of Harvard, who worked with Martin Edelman and Leslie Katz in creating the centrifugal radar on the Wattmaker neuroplasm that Penis Gabriel voodooed for Bush, said if you beat a dog, it will love you more. This is the way the occult spinsters imagine women. And of course, Leslie was one of the people who made a howl of me at the jumping hauler for not being masculine enough. That got Trump into position to castrate me for not date raping. See, that's how virginity proves rape. She was still a virgin, but the queer bait was inadequate. And this is Fripp's mindset with Eno, and they go voodooing the neuroplasm. And this was actually Yoko Ono's Japanese mission. Well, Zappa, who Trumpy Tune obviously was in cahoots with, insulted people all night. It really started to bother me. As deaf as I am, I could follow what he was saying. And he said, but if some of you probably hear what I'm saying and are getting offended, go talk to Big Dragon. But the rest of you, why? You all love it, don't you? And everybody went, yay! If you beat a dog, it will love you more, was their mentality about how to overthrow the government of the United States with these personality cults. If you beat America and humiliate it, they will love you more. The spirit world is an occupied zone because the way that they occupied America is through both sides. They created, Oliver Stone comes on motorcycle dudes. We love Lenin and Reagan, right? But that's the point. They worked together on the project. They had me in both positions as, the whipping boy. But they pulled Houdinis with Hollywood magic. Nobody saw Reagan. He came out and waved to me. They had his attorneys on hand giving me brochures reading, there's no such thing as objective reality, only what the jury believes. That's loud. He was the master of Hollywood. He had Francis Ford Coppola helping him. He had Trump helping him. He had Pentagon, Disney helping him. He pulled some Hollywood magic, but he used lethal powers also. So from the Wizard of Oz. And Lennon stepped out. He played a Houdini. He was scripted to do that all along so that they could take control of their TV sets, as Cliff Robertson would say on Outer Limits, which was also put into place with JFK's state funeral. That was the premiere episode of the Outer Limits. This is what they've been doing, in other words, what for real. And then they get somebody say, "Oh, well, there's so much more to it. Wait till you hear it. You'll be so pleased to meet John Lennon," And it's a play on the incapacity to scholastically and journalistically come to grips with what they really pulled. And it's one of these moves. But you all love it, don't you? Yes, that's what we did, but you all love it, don't you? Now, by operating from both sides, they had Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh. We're free speech and we're going to make everybody all oblivious with, jazz from hell, Zappa called it. Diamondogolus was like, we'll get even, we'll catharsis, we'll summon the spirits, we'll blow things up until everybody feels better. And Pat Buchanan was saying things like, I don't even want to, the dudes from the Pentagon were saying it's widely believed in the Pentagon that the Earth just isn't going to make it. Who cares? I've lived a good life. That was Jim Hagerman. I don't want to repeat all of the BS. I don't want to show you what they rubbed in my face with my Hustler magazine any more than I want to repeat what Patrick Buchanan said about the queers. But by playing both sides, the queers were like, no, we love Patrick Buchanan. That's where we're at, man. Okay, so Diamondogolus is known now to have been in immunogenetics and Satanism in the 70s. Give me a break. She's standing outside the World Trade Center with her stiletto, and they released anthrax. That's also, in the mind of Seattle queer, that's also insane. But it beggars comprehension that anybody is stupid enough to buy that. Pussy Riot may be an instrument of that sort of BS too. But you have to take the good with the bad in this world. When the spirit world is an occupied zone. In other words, Pussy Riot didn't say, yes, we agree with you. That is exactly the way Ringo Starr is. He's just like Putin. He's a sick, sick man pulling this stuff. Okay, together. If you look into Soviet newspapers that get published throughout the whole Ukraine war, they have advertisements for Yellow Submarine and stuff. When they pulled the Revolution #9, killing Bobby Kennedy, putting the Texas school book in my stuff, they were beholden to the USSR. I found a card with Mark Wagner on it here in Tacoma, where the psychopaths from Trumpington Putinese had. So I don't believe that the war is anything but a spoils fight. But it's Europe being Europe, trying to reestablish the idea of arbitrary, powerful men making decisions based on their whims and their caprice. And you really love them. You love them more than your stupid democracy. You love them more than your stupid freedom of speech. You love them more than the dignity of how you arbitrate in a multipolar world. You will let them walk on you because when you beat a dog, it loves you more. You all love it, don't you?